Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something really massive. We are exploring the search engine exodus. It's this silent, massive migration that is fundamentally rewiring how we interact with information, and honestly, it's a game changer.
Seriously, think about it for a second. When you hit search, where are those private thoughts actually going? Because every single time you type a query into a traditional search engine, you aren't just looking for an answer. You are effectively broadcasting a direct log of your mind. Your worries, your financial questions, medical curiosities, they all get piped straight to a massive centralized server. It's basically a leaky pipe constantly dripping your most sensitive data into a corporate database. But what if you could catch that leaking data and lock it down entirely on your own device? Well, that is the exact revolution we're looking at today.
Okay, let's dive into this, because the contrast here is honestly staggering. On one side, we have cloud vulnerability. This is the world we've just sort of accepted for the last 20 years, right? Your data is logged, your privacy is constantly at risk, and you are entirely dependent on external servers you have absolutely zero control over. But on the flip side, we have local sovereignty. This means zero logs. It means completely offline execution. We're talking processing that happens 100% on your own device. It's literally the difference between living in a glass house and an impenetrable fortress.
You know, NVIDIA's CEO, Jensen Huang, perfectly captures the limitation of our current setup here. He points out that computers, as we know them today, are essentially just retrieval-based systems. Think about it. We write a file, we save it, and later we retrieve it from some massive building miles and miles away. That's why they are called data centers and not computer centers. They mostly just store data that you pull back down. But relying on this massive centralized infrastructure, that's exactly what the new wave of AI is actively looking to disrupt.
And this right here brings us to what's being called the search engine exodus. We are seeing this rapidly accelerating migration of privacy-conscious users, developers, and knowledge workers, and they are all moving away from these centralized cloud networks. Instead, they're shifting towards self-hosted, offline, large language models, or LLMs. People are just becoming highly reluctant to hand over their sensitive personal files or proprietary corporate data to third parties. They absolutely want the intelligence of AI for sure, but they want it completely in-house.
So you might be wondering, how on earth is this suddenly possible on a standard computer? The answer is this brilliant technical defense called weight quantization. For the longest time, powerful AI models required massive amounts of memory, what's called VRAM, and that kept them locked inside those giant corporate data centers. Weight quantization literally shrinks the AI brain. It reduces the bit precision of the model's parameters, which significantly lowers its memory consumption. And the absolute magic of this is that it does it with minimal degradation to the actual output quality.
It gets even crazier. We are now seeing breakthroughs like bit distiller, which pushes into what's called sub-4-bit quantization. By using a technique called quantization-aware training, developers can actually compress these massive models into incredibly tiny 2-bit or 3-bit footprints. And crucially, even at these microscopic sizes, they preserve their complex reasoning capabilities. This is really the master key here. It's what unlocks powerful AI right on your personal laptop.
But hey, it's not just about cramming the model onto your computer, it's about speed. Frameworks like bit decoding are unlocking your GPU's tensor cores to achieve a massive 3x latency reduction. That means local, self-hosted AI isn't just secure, it is blazingly fast. It actually rivals the speeds you'd expect from a multi-billion-dollar cloud server, and it's doing it right on your own desk.
So, how do you actually pull this off? Well, the Addiside blog recently published this really practical, hands-on guide showing exactly how anyone can build an AI-driven local search engine. And it's surprisingly straightforward. Step 1, you install a local runner like Ollama alongside Python. Step 2, you initialize a FAISS vector index, which is basically just a highly efficient database for AI. Step 3, you process and chunk your local files into readable pieces. And finally, Step 4, you execute offline semantic search. You can literally ask a plain language question and your local AI will search only your files instantly without ever pinning the internet.
And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer diversity of the architectural landscape making this decentralized edge possible. Look at the options here. We have bit distiller using self-distillation to shrink models for local execution. We have Petals, which splits model layers across a distributed peer-to-peer network, meaning you don't even need server racks. There's BitTensor, creating a totally decentralized machine learning marketplace. And tools like Vane, giving you a local-first search experience with 100% data privacy and real citations. The infrastructure to completely replace the cloud? It's already here.
All right, so now that we've established the technical foundation, the armor that catches your data before it leaks,
let's look at the ultimate empowerment this gives you. Enter the vault. I want you to imagine transitioning from that glitchy vulnerability of the open web to a lockdown, infinitely intelligent permanent memory layer. Because this isn't just about searching for old files. It's about creating a comprehensive, locally hosted intelligence that remembers absolutely everything about your life and your work and does it completely securely.
There's this incredibly powerful anecdote from investor Jordi Visser about how he uses this concept. Dealing with complex estate management, he just stopped relying on scattered cloud apps. Instead, he said, it's one folder, everything's in there, and I basically just connected it to a coworker and I said, go do what it is that you need to do. Now, that coworker he's talking about, that's his local AI. He routed his entire digital life into one secure, accessible folder that acts as a permanent, instant database.
So what actually goes inside the vault? Well, everything. It's deeply personal. It's your bank statements and financial outflows. It's every photo you've ever taken. Got a meeting? Tools like Granola can instantly summarize and store those transcripts right there. It's the voice notes and random thoughts you record on an airplane. For Visser, it even includes his complex thematic portfolio algorithms. Every single piece of your context is instantly accessible. And because it is completely localized, it never ever leaks out to train some third-party corporate model.
But here's where the real magic happens. Enter local agents. Think of this as your very own personal digital workforce. When you attach a tool like OpenClaw to run locally on your machine, it acts as a permanent copilot. You can tell it, hey, fetch that estate document from 3 months ago, or run an exhaustion model on my portfolio compared to April, and it does it instantly, directly from your vault. It's an assistant that never forgets, never gets frustrated, and critically, never compromises your privacy.
So the crucial point is this 1%. Look, by actively taking control of your data, shrinking these models down to run locally, and building this permanent memory layer, you are doing something that less than 1% of the people on the planet are currently doing. As the sources point out, understanding and implementing this agentic, local architecture puts you 99% ahead of the game. You are completely insulating yourself against cloud vulnerabilities, all while supercharging your own personal capability.
And there's a huge bonus here. Building locally actually lets you bypass these massive physical walls that the centralized cloud giants are currently crashing into right now. Beyond just the privacy aspect, massive corporate LLMs are hitting mathematical uncomputability limits, massive power shortages, and genuine data scarcity problems like the chinchilla limit, where they are quite literally running out of high-quality human text to train on. By running highly optimized, quantized models on your own curated data inside your vault, you entirely sidestep the noise and the physical limitations of the centralized web.
So, we've seen how the technology has evolved, shifting from vulnerable centralized cloud centers to hyper-fast, quantized local models. The tools exist today, right now, to stop the leakage of your private thoughts and to build an impenetrable, highly intelligent memory layer entirely on your own terms. The search engine exodus isn't just some passing trend. It's a totally necessary upgrade to our digital lives. So, I'm going to leave you with this. Are you ready to reclaim your digital sovereignty and build your own vault?